Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz, and I'm not sure if I've done this review before, but I doubt it. It's of this thing, the Medium Mark II, the old British Tier 2 medium tank, which was removed in Update 5.5 along with all of these other things that you see in blue. Basically, most of my Tier 2 lineup here. And obviously I never kept the tank after I got it when I was first grinding out to the Matilda. I never bought it back because I never particularly wanted to, but then recently I started thinking about it, and I was thinking about all the other little tier 2 and 3 tanks that I just was never going to get to play ever again unless they released them. And this was one of the tanks that I wanted to get back, so I had a look, I submitted a ticket, and I managed to get this back along with a couple of other tanks. And I never thought I would be happy to see this thing again, but here it is, in all of its boxy, terrible glory. So yes, well, let's have a look through the tank, because, well, it's not exactly like there's much choice in terms of how it's going to differ, because there's no upgrades, there's no other techs, it's all just the one tank with the one type of everything, the same as all of these other tanks, the Panzerjäger, the Cruiser, the Light 6, the D1, all of these tanks which used to be cool are now not cool. But hey, here we are. So 340 HP, because I've got this thing with improved assembly, so it gets an extra 20 HP, but 340 HP is a fair amount at this tier. If we have a look at the Cruiser 1, that's got 339 with the improved assembly, otherwise it would have 310. Let's have a look, do I have any other mediums? Yes, I've got the Cruiser 3, which is the only British tech tier tank. It's got 360. The D1 counts as a light tank here, so 340. So yeah, it's got a pretty decent HP pool for this tier. Just to compare it, the Micro Mouse has got 360, which has again got improved assembly, but if we take that off, 340. So yeah, it's got a decent HP pool for this tier, and that's all to do with the armour. As you can see, the armour is absolutely terrible. 8mm all round, everywhere, no exception. It is absolutely terrible, terrible armour. And it's the reason why I never bought this thing back when we still had all of the other Tier 2 tanks. Because back when we had high explosive and things like at Tier 3, the Cruiser, Mark... where is it? Where's my Cruiser? Was it the Cruiser Mark IV? I don't know, one of the cruisers. It was, yeah, one of the cruisers here had a howitzer on it. I have a feeling it was actually the Cruiser 1. The Cruiser 1 used to have a howitzer on it. It had like a 3-inch howitzer on it. And it would just one-shot these things. Most of the time, just because the armour is absolutely terrible. For comparison, the Panzerjäger 1. Not a particularly well-armoured little tank destroyer, but a good tank nonetheless, especially at this tier. It's got 13mm of hull armour, side and rear armour. That's not armour, I don't think, on the gun here, but it's the actual Panzer I chassis. And it's strange that we never got the Panzer I in the game before they removed all the low tier tanks, but yet we could have it on PC. Very strange. But yeah, that's 13mm on this frontal armour, and I have bounced a couple of shots off of this sloped frontal Panzer I armour. This thing is just not got that armour. For comparison, again, Light 6C has at least got 14mm of frontal turret and 14mm of frontal hull. The Universal Carrier, you know, a Bren gun carrier, it's not an effective unit. It's designed for towing and moving supplies and a few troops around, and in this case we've got a, you know, 6-pounder gun on it. It's still got 10mm of frontal armour. A Universal Carrier is more well armoured than a British medium tank. And it's not a particularly small medium tank either. Have a look, here's the Micro Mouse, the little hotchkiss. We've got the T1E6, there we go. We've got the D1, still quite a big tank. Not quite as big as this though. It's got a massive silhouette on it. And you can't angle it at all because everything goes through it. Everything, absolutely everything. A Panzer II On PC, I love shooting at mediums with a Panzer II because it goes through them like a knife through hot butter. 48mm of average pen. At any range, autocannons lose their penetration a lot quicker over distance than regular single shotguns like you have on the T26, for example, or the Har-Go. So even so, this thing will penetrate you at any range no matter what. If it can hit you, it will pen. The same with absolutely anything. It is just not well armoured at all. Concealment as well, not too great. It's a big old target. 242 meters view range. It's tier 2. It's lower than high tiers, so it's not particularly meh. Mobility as well, not that great to be honest. 40 kilometers per hour top speed forwards, 15 reverse, 26 average speed. Power to weight is 11.9. For comparison, the Micro Mouse, very heavily armoured French tank, not particularly well mobile, 7.1 horsepower per ton ratio. Goes 17 kilometers per hour. The French tanks are not particularly well known for being fast, so let's have a look at the D1 for example, 6.1 power to weight with a 15 average speed kilometers per hour. It's still not particularly great, only goes 26. It's pretty sluggish going up hills, especially if you get onto something like Desert Sands or something, where you've got lots and lots of ups and down hills. Traverse is pretty good though, 33 degrees for the turret and nearly 49 degrees for the hull traverse, with a 168 horsepower engine, bearing in mind that I have improved it ever so slightly by an extra 8 horsepower, so 160 horsepower. But even so, yeah, not particularly well mobile. The T1E6 is a super power hypercar compared to that, 23.3 horsepower per ton ratio. The Panzer Jaeger is not particularly mobile, but well, still more mobile than that thing. 15.2 power to weight and 29 average speed kilometers per hour and a very good hull traverse. Yeah, this thing is just not particularly mobile. So far, I haven't painted it in a particularly good light. It's got no armour to speak of. It's got medium to low, mobility on it. It's massive, so it doesn't have particularly good camo. And the only reason it's got a large HP pool is because you'll get penetrated by everything that shoots at it. So what is good about it? Well, it's the gun. They have retained on this tank, when they made it into one of these little collector's vehicles, they retained the 6-pounder gun on it, which means that you've actually got a pretty decent gun mounted in it. It is in fact the same gun as is on the Universal Carrier, pretty much. The characteristics might be ever so slightly different, but it is basically the same old gun. So 2.7 second aim time, pretty fast. Dispersion is bit sort of medium range. It's 0.34 dispersion. It's still fairly accurate, but at the same time, very low DPM and reload time, 8 seconds for a reload. I mean, oof, it's not that great on the Universal Carrier, and that's an open-topped tank destroyer, so the crew have got more room to move. But even so, that's not great reload time. Very good average pen though, 65 average pen with 60 with AP. Still not quite good enough to get through the fronts of Panzer IIIs when you come up against them, and you will, because it's low tiers. Panzer IIIs are everywhere. 7 degrees of gun depression, it's alright, not that great, but still, and 16 degrees of gun elevation, which is not that great either. So yeah, overall it's a decent enough of gun, maybe a little bit inaccurate, but the long reload time is the thing that really kills it, because you can't really peekaboo with this tank, because the turret is sort of mounted sort of mid to mid-rear of the tank, which means that enemies will likely get 1 or 2 shots into you by the time you pop out to take a shot at them. Now it's good for the Universal Carrier because you can run away. You're a very fast, very stealthy little tank destroyer, and I don't know why I don't have cannonet on it. But yeah, it's a very stealthy little tank destroyer, and very fast, very mobile, and you can get away with popping up, taking a shot, and backing down if need be, or running circles around someone again if you need to. But the medium can't exactly do that. It's very tall, it's very big, it's very wide. I mean, look at it compared to the Tetrarch. Look at that. little tiny little Tetrarch, and then all of a sudden, bam, medium 2. Yeah, it is one of the biggest things at tier 2, if not the biggest. And whilst it does have a good gun, yeah, it might have a good gun, but that's the only thing that's good for it. And yeah, I don't really know why I got this tank back, but if you do ever want to get some of your old tanks back, maybe I, you know, trigger some sort of nostalgia wave for like tier 2 tanks. If you do want to get tier 2 and 3 tanks back, it's pretty cheap to do, so long as you had purchased the tank before the update 5.5 came around. You can submit a ticket to get the vehicle back, and then yeah, they'll just subtract. It's 25 gold for a tier 2 vehicle, 50 gold for a tier 3 vehicle, and then it goes up from there. They have a chart showing how much it would cost to get it back. So yeah, it's not too much at all to get these little things back, and then you can drive around with them until your heart's content. So yeah, that's the reason why I got this thing back, and you know, it didn't cost me that much. I got a couple of tier 3s, so overall for 125 gold I got 3 vehicles, which is not too bad. Would have liked to have just got them back with credits instead, but no, they wanted gold, so fair enough. But yeah, so those are the basic stats for it. Very big, very immobile, very badly armoured, with a decent if slow firing gun. And then we come to, well, it's a bit of an odd way because low tiers have been rebalanced in terms of equipment, so we've only got a multi-purpose, so you might as well shove that on. You're going to need it at some point. You've only got the one type of ammo, so might as well go ahead, mount all them on. You're never going to run out of ammo, not with an 8-second reload time. And then for your equipment, gun rammer, yeah, you might as well. You don't need an extra 3mm of pen. Definitely go with the gun rammer, because otherwise it would be over an 8.5-second reload. This is with 100% crew, because you get 100% crews anyway at tiers 1 to 5. You get free 100% crews, so you might as well just go with the gun rammer, because that would, an 8.63 second reload time is painfully slow at tier 2. So gun rammer definitely. Improved modules for the extra track durability, you might as well. You're not exactly going to be ramming too many people, so you might as well go with improved modules. Definitely coated optics. You can work as a tank destroyer, but it's really down to you. You're not particularly stealthy enough to be a tank destroyer, so you might as well just go with coated optics. Supercharge, because it's very good accuracy, aim time rather. You know, 2.4 second aim time, or even 2.7 second aim time is pretty good, so you don't really need it. So I would say go with supercharge for the extra shell velocity, because it's a rather low velocity gun, I find, especially when I play it, play the universal carry with basically the same gun. Improved assembly, definitely. That's not going to help you at all. You'll get an extra 1mm, if that, of hull armor, which is not going to stop anything at all. So definitely go with improved assembly for the extra HP, because you're going to need it. Engine accelerator for the extra power to weight, definitely go with that. Slightly better average top speed, but mostly for the power to weight and a little bit of extra hold reverse and the engine power, so definitely engine accelerator. Refined gun, definitely, because otherwise you'd have a .37 accuracy / 3.8, which is really not good, so definitely refined gun. And then your choice of whatever those two things are, and again your choice of those as well. So overall, would I recommend this tank if it was still in the tech tree? Absolutely not. It's an absolutely terrible tank. And no, but it was only at tier 2. You would play 5 battles in it, get your medium 3, and move on. Do I recommend it now, however? Still no, not really. I only bought it back because I can't get it back anymore, because it's no longer in the tech tree. But I just wanted it back because I saw it in a battle when I was playing in, I don't know, the Panzerjäger or something, and I just saw it and I went, huh, I remember that tank. I remember a lot of tanks. And I just thought, you know what, might as well. It's only going to cost me a couple of 100 credits, or, you know, a little bit of gold to get it back. I might as well. And, you know, you might as well too, because hardly anyone else is going to have these, and hardly anyone else is going to be driving them. So you might as well, for the, you know, just maybe for the nostalgia, or just maybe for the collecting sake, you might as well get it back. I mean, you can do well in it. So far, I have a losing streak in this tank, and the medium 3, where I just can't seem to win a single game in it, no matter what I do. But yeah, so there you go, the Medium 2. It's a bit of a weird review because you can't exactly get it unless you submit a ticket, and I would say if you're going to submit a ticket, do it as soon as possible to get your tanks back, if you want them back, because why the hell not, really? So yes, there you go, the Medium 2. I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.